All right. I recently lost a client and I want to tell you guys about it. So, I want to start off by saying there's no hard feelings. The clients are doing what they feel is in their best interest, and there's nothing I could have done to change the situation. So, no hard feelings, but I just want to explain the whole situation and let you guys know that, we're humans too on the mortgage and real estate side, just as much as you are on the buyer side. So, a little background. I met this couple who is here on a visa. I met them probably about 8 months ago at a Chamber of Commerce event. And I was talking to them about their business. They were talking to me about my business. And then they mentioned that they'd been told no by several other lenders when they were trying to get pre approved for a mortgage. So I was like, why'd they tell you no? Getting some information, this, that, and the third. Um, and I told him, I said, look, I think I can find something for you. It doesn't sound like it's too far fetched. We just need to do the application process so I can get an idea of what you guys actually have going on so that I can go out to the banks and find a program and a deal that works for you. Because that's what I do as a broker. I can shop it around for you so you don't have to make 20 phone calls. I can do that. Um, So we do that. I mean, over the next couple months, they get me the stuff that we need. We find a program. It took probably 3 months to find the program, but we finally found one that didn't care about their lack of time in business as self-employed borrowers. They didn't care about how much money they make. It didn't care about how much debt they had. All it cared about is, did they have a credit score and did they have a down payment? Yes, and yes. They had the down payment they needed. They had credit scores that met the trade line requirements. So we got them pre approved, sent them out house shopping. The realtor was ecstatic because they didn't think anything was going to happen anytime soon because the situation kind of fell outside of the normal and, quite honestly, out of the box type of financing options. But we found one even further outside the box. So they spent about 3 months house shopping. Meanwhile, while they're house shopping, they lowballed every house that they looked at. Probably about $30,000 minimum is what they under offered. And these are houses that were only on the market for like 6 or 7 days. So the realtor was getting a bit more discouraged throughout the process just because she really started losing confidence in the fact that anything was going to happen. Because of that and because of the way that they were trying to negotiate, because the offers were just flat out refused. There was no counter to any of those because that's a really low offer they put in. So I kept in contact with the agent. I kept in contact with the borrowers. Stopping in at their business office, chit chatting, seeing how things are going, that kind of stuff. Running multiple scenarios for them on pretty much every house they looked at. And then so after about 3 months of house searching, they finally went under contract 2 weeks ago, the week before Christmas. Great. Fantastic. They're supposed to close in January. It gets them closed and in their new house before their lease ends. It gives them plenty of time to move and they don't have to worry about paying rent and a mortgage all at the same time. Well, at this point, I've been working with them for about 7 months, maybe closer to 8, honestly. And they kept telling me that nobody else could get them anything. Well, they go under contract, and then magically the next day they found another lender that somehow had another program that was significantly lower interest rates than what I was able to give them. Which I'm still not even 100% convinced that that's a thing, but again, it's whatever the clients feels in their best interest. So they told me that. They said they're not going to move forward with us. Fine. I wished them well. I told them good luck and I hope everything works out. And wish them a happy holiday since it was right before Christmas and everything. So come to find out, the contract actually ended up falling through anyway due to some inspection issues. But all the realtor knows at this point is that it's a profit and loss program that doesn't require 2 years in business. So I don't know of any programs like that. None of the lenders I reached out to had those programs. So if there's a lender or a mortgage professional out there watching this, I would love to know about that kind of program. I'd love to add it to my bag. So shoot me a DM or an email or give me a call and let's talk about it. But I think the worst part too was the when I texted the real estate agent and said, "Hey, just so you know, I guess they found another lender." It took this real estate agent by shock. They did not communicate anything to her over like a week's time span that they were looking at a different lender or anything like that. So I don't know exactly who they talked to or what they found. Um, Myself and um, my leadership in my company, as well as the real estate agent, aren't real sure how solid that financing option really is, just because nobody really has any information on it other than the borrowers who found it out of thin air at the last minute. So I don't say any of this to badmouth anybody. It is what it is. It's part of the business. I encourage people to shop around. I want you to find the best option for you because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have the best option. I'm not perfect. My company's not perfect, and the lenders that we work with aren't perfect. But we work very hard to find all the best deals for the best clients. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I move on. But the thing I really want to hit home is for people out there that don't understand how real estate agents and mortgage brokers and other people within the real estate industry work. We don't make any money until the deal closes. And granted, I wasn't going to make a whole lot of money off this deal anyway because it was being paid for mostly in cash and then with a small financing. So really and truly, wasn't going to make a whole lot of money anyway after I paid my overhead and my brokerage split and everything. So it wasn't about the money to me. It was about telling them yes when everybody else told them no. So circling back to what the point I was trying to make, we don't get paid until the deal closes. So that 8 months of, or that 3 months of searching, and then that 3 months of house hunting, running scenarios, things like that, um, and then getting it packaged up, structured, and sent into underwriting once they went under contract. I don't get paid for that. My pre-approval specialist, she doesn't get paid because the file didn't close, and my processor doesn't get paid after structuring the file and getting it submitted to underwriting and getting them the pre-approval and everything like that. So nobody on my team gets paid, including me, unless the deal closes. Same thing with real estate agents. That agent that's been showing them houses for the last 4 months now has to go out and show them more houses and write more lowball offers because of the situation. And, she's doing it for free until something actually closes, which there's no guarantee that it ever will. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind when you're talking to people. Again, I encourage you to shop around. You should never just talk to one lender. Even if you call me first, I'm going to tell you need to talk to at least one or two other people just to see, because everybody's got different tools in their bag, and honestly, sometimes they might be better than mine. I like to think I have the best. I like to think that I'm going to always win, but that's not reality. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, that when you're working with somebody and you're asking them to run all these numbers and get this, that, and the third, they're not getting paid most of the time until you close on a house. Right? So, and that's something that I really didn't understand, how these buyers were able to just do all this so secretively. As small business owners, they don't get paid unless they get their jobs done, just like I don't get paid until something closes. So I wish that they would have told me a little bit that they were exploring more. I mean, obviously, I'm not entitled to know that. They don't have to tell me anything other than they don't want to move forward, which is fine. But I feel that I could have, it it would have been a little bit more respectful to me and my time and my team's time if these individuals had just said, hey, look, at the pre-approval stage, like, hey, look, I don't really like these numbers. I don't think I'm going to move forward with this, because the numbers didn't change. So they knew what they were getting into the whole time. And then I guess they were shopping around behind the scenes and didn't let anybody else know that. So I feel like it would have been a little bit more respectful to at least tell me that you're shopping it around, since you told me that nobody else could do anything for you up until you found me. But again, at the end of the day, there's no hard feelings. But quite honestly, just with the situation and the way things ended, and then, I figured something was going on because the communication started getting real sporadic and inconsistent with them, right after they went under contract. So I figured something was going on. I wasn't quite sure what. Um, but quite honestly, I mean, at this point, even if they came back and said, hey, it didn't work out, against my better judgment, I'd still help them out. Because, like I said, it's my job to do what's in the best interest of the client and to maintain the right relationship with the agent. She's been working long with these people longer than I have to get them into a home. So she deserves to get paid too. So if they come back to me and say, hey, our financing didn't work out, we want to use you again, I'm going to do it, because that way I can make sure that the agent gets paid and that these people are taken care of and in a house that they want to be in. So to kind of sum it all up, yes, I lost a client. No, I'm not bitter about it. And no, there's nothing I could have done differently. I did everything I could to make sure that they were taken care of in the best way possible. And I think there was some sort of disconnect. Like I said, they are on visas, so they don't necessarily have the experience of the market here in the US, as well as some other people do. So that could have played into it a little bit. Maybe a lack of education, I guess. Maybe that's something I could have done better, is better educate them on how the market works here versus where they came here from. But in all reality, people are going to do what they're going to do. And I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to tell them yes and see the light in their eyes and the smiles on their faces when I told them yes, even if it didn't end up working out. So, and also now I know about this program that I didn't really know about before. So I can help more buyers out there like you guys if you might be in a sticky situation, but you have a large sum that you can put down. So with that, I'll leave you here. If you have any mortgage scenarios, questions about refinancing, buying, business lending, commercial lending, anything in the lending world when it comes to a house or a business, reach out. Let's run through your scenario and see how I can help you.